Hey guys, how are you doing? Rob of Rule of Two Review here. Welcome back. We are again talking one more time about COPPA and the whole situation with YouTube and everything happening with this new act that will go into effect January 1st of 2020, just a couple of weeks from now. I didn't really plan on making like a second video discussing this unless there was like a huge significant change or update to something going on, whether it got way better or even way, way worse. That really hasn't happened, but I still felt it was worth me touching base one more time. I'm sorry it's not another like normal gaming Rule of Two review video where I'm just talking about some cool, exciting video game news. Like, remember those days? Really wasn't that long ago that I feel like that was the only thing I got to do on YouTube with Rule of Two review. And now two of my last three videos have been about this freaking, the fourth YouTube apocalypse to happen in the last like 3 years. But this is a pretty serious potential apocalyptic situation. And because some more digging that I've done since making that last video has kind of just really more confirmed and solidified my fears than anything, I think that's why I wanted to make the second conversation, kind of talk about some of the confirmations that I've seen and learned, and also discuss with you what I think my current plan for Rule of Two review is going to be. That's kind of the real focus, is like, what is Rob going to do with Rule of Two review? What will happen to this channel? I have a very, not a, I have a small but not insignificant amount of regular people and followers and audience, and a lot of you guys that tune into all of my videos and follow me on Twitter and talk with me a lot. And so I know that for a lot of you guys, even though I'm not some massive channel, I felt that it was worth kind of letting you guys know what my current plan is going to be. So, like I said, beyond that, why else am I still talking about this? Like I was just saying, after I made that last video where I mentioned that initially I didn't think COPPA was going to affect me when I just kind of understood on the periphery of my brain that something was happening, because I was like, it's attacking kids content. I'm not a kids channel. My content's not made for kids. Even though it's kid friendly, it's not made and directed for kids, so I'm fine. Then I went down a rabbit hole earlier this week and realized, holy freaking crap, this actually does sound like it absolutely will affect and impact my channel based on how I operate it. And so I was like, this is really crazy, and now I understand why everyone's talking about it and freaking out, and I explained that to you guys. In the couple of days since that last video, I've really just continued to look into it. I've realized that if you just go and look up, if you don't really understand how serious COPPA is or how much it could affect most YouTubers, especially in the gaming space, then just go into your YouTube search bar and just search for COPPA and just look at all of the videos so many content creators from small to medium to really pretty freaking large and even bigger have talked about this. Philip DeFranco has talked about this, of course. And all you'll see when you hear people of a variety of sizes and audience size and subscriber bases talk about it, what they know, what they've learned, what they've heard behind the scenes, there pretty much is no positive angle. Anyone with any sort of significant information and understanding and discussion about it, even channels that are people who are like lawyers that have their own YouTube channels or at least have a law background, everyone is saying, hey, this is a big deal. You can't put your head in your sand about it, no matter how they try to spin some of the verbiage, at least as of right now. And so as I've continued to just kind of look more into it and hear more people talk about it, and even some people who I initially ran into with my first search have made update videos, and pretty much everyone's update video is the same. There's a couple of channels and a couple of videos put out there that are trying to say, hey, it's not what it seems. It's not as bad. Here's the loophole that says we should all be okay. And I think that sounds great at first, but the two or three that I ran into that I watched really didn't present a strong case for how it's good. I think they're finding the weakest language in any of the text that exists out there to try to make it sound like everything's fine. And, oh, if you're in the toy community or the gaming community or the model or Lego community, you're okay for these reasons. And I'm like, man, I'm just not reading that the same way as a lot of you guys who are trying to say it out there that way. And so I just have realized, I wanted to learn that it really wasn't going to be as bad as it could be. But right now, and I'm not an expert. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a professional. I don't work for the government. So I don't know everything, but going off of what YouTube has put out, what the FTC has put out with their press conference, and then every single other YouTuber who's discussed it has put out, as well as my own thoughts about it, it's just blanket across the board. It seems pretty scary. And since I was hoping that I would learn that maybe everything is going to be okay, and the next time I was going to address it, I would hopefully be able to tell you guys, hey, false alarm, crisis averted, everything's cool, most gaming channels are fine, most kids channels are fine, I'm going to be fine, Rule of Two review won't be going away. I was hoping to be able to tell you that, but everything I've seen has just more kind of made me double down on a lot of what I've seen and felt and learned and all these different things. Like one of the things that has kind of been going around the past 2 days or so that seems to be kind of a positive spin is this little blurb. YouTube shared this like on like one of their community posts on YouTube. And then, it's also available on the FTC website. And there's these couple of blurbs that do sound potentially quite a bit better. In attempting to clear up what might constitute as kid-directed content, they say, to be clear, your content isn't considered, quote, directed to children just because some children may see it. They also go on to say, just because your video has bright colors or animated characters doesn't mean you're automatically covered by COPPA. While many animated shows are directed to kids, the FTC recognizes there can be animated programming that appeals to everyone. Now that sounds pretty great, I'm not gonna lie. Ever since YouTube shared that, yesterday or maybe this morning, whenever that was that I saw it, I can't even remember the last 12 hours, man. What day are we in? I don't even know. But whenever they shared that, I read it, a lot of people read it, I've seen it even going around on YouTube and on Twitter and stuff. I'll be honest, it sounds like it's trying to cover quite a bit of the bases, because the big concern is if you put stuff in your thumbnails or content in your video that has bright colors and cartoony characters, which many times includes video game characters and video game gameplay, they're trying to say, hey, we understand that some stuff isn't directed directly towards kids. Because that's what a lot of us, I'll speak from the gaming space perspective because that's what I do. That's what a lot of us in gaming have been worried about, because we have to think about this. If we're going to discuss the next Super Mario game or the next Legend of Zelda game or the next Pokemon game or the next Star Wars game or whatever, think about what I would put in the thumbnail. I would want to put a picture, usually my face is in my thumbnail. So you're going to have my face, but you're also going to have Mario. Mario's going to be in the thumbnail if I'm talking about a brand new Mario game, or a picture of Link, or a picture of Samus, or pictures of Pokemon, or pictures of whatever the case may be. So that right then and there is in the thumbnail. And we all know that we would make a video about like Super Mario Odyssey 2, the example I used in my last video, and we're going to have the kind of, adult, cerebral, thinking person's discussion that probably doesn't appeal to a 12-year-old about Super Mario Odyssey 2. Like, I talk about things in video games that certainly kids younger than 12 would probably otherwise be interested in. A Mario game, the Nintendo Switch stuff, video games in general, Star Wars. Yeah, little kids like things like video games and Nintendo and Star Wars and Pokemon, absolutely. But I don't think the conversations I have would appeal to like a 10 or 11 or 12-year-old's brain, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like it doesn't. I don't talk to 12-year-olds, right? So I don't gear my conversations towards that. And a lot of content creators, most content creators in the gaming space, aren't gearing their conversations and their content directly towards super young kids. Just because they don't swear and have boobies flopping around all over the place doesn't mean it's geared towards a 12-year-old's mind. And so that's been the fear that a lot of us have had. Now, they talk about this here like they're trying to state that they understand that. They understand that a channel like Rule of Two Review will talk about a Pokemon game or a Zelda game that's going to feature colorful Zelda gameplay and cartoony Pokemon characters in the thumbnail and in the gameplay footage within the video, but they're going to talk about it like they're not talking towards little kids. They're trying to state that, hey, we understand that this can happen, so don't be worried. And again, that sounds great. I am so glad that they added that little bit of a clarification, of course. But there's a couple of things going on. One thing, I don't entirely believe them. Two, even if they're trying to be genuine, I still think that the majority of people who are going to be working for this entity to police YouTube here won't really themselves be able to discern the difference or care, because they're not going to be watching the entirety of every video they look at, because there's probably 6 million video game YouTube videos uploaded every day. I don't know if that's the number, but it's something extreme like that. Even if it's 6,000 a day, let's pretend. So imagine there's a team of 20 people in their 40s to 60s working for the FTC trying to police YouTube content every day, and they go through and they hit 6,000 gaming YouTube videos today, this Tuesday. I mean, they're not going to be watching every single video. That could be as short as 5 minutes or as long as 20 minutes. They're not going to be watching every video. They're going to be looking at the thumbnail, maybe scrubbing through and just getting bits and pieces here and there between the video. And they're probably going to see, oh, there's a Pikachu on the thumbnail. Here's some really colorful Pokemon gameplay in the middle. Here's a Mario jumping around and going wahoo all over the place in the middle of this video. Look at all these bright colors and cartoony characters. This is going to be geared towards children, so it's marked that way. And then the third aspect to this is also YouTube's involvement, because YouTube also, throwing their content creators under the bus. They paid their $170 million because they got in trouble and got everyone in this mess. They also are going to be having machine learning, which we know isn't reliable, to try to track down what's going on as well. And so you're either marking your videos as kid-friendly and destroying the watchability and the algorithm and the comments and everything about it. Basically, your video and or channel will be dead in the water because it's marked for kid-friendly, or you don't mark it kid-friendly because it truly isn't a kid-targeted video. But we know the FTC, the people policing it, the sweeps they do, YouTube, their machine learning, these things will work against you. And there's a huge chance that every video they come across like this, with a Mario or a Link or a Pokemon in the thumbnail and that gameplay footage in the video, it's going to somehow, one of those 4 to 5 factors will end up saying, this is kid targeted. And this person didn't mark it as such, so they're in trouble, the video's in trouble, the channel's in trouble, and then you get into, are they deleting your video, are they terminating your channel, and are they suing you and taking you to court for thousands upon thousands or even millions of dollars if they mark, I think it's, I don't remember the number, I'd have to do the math. If you have between like 25 and 30 videos that they're suing you for the maximum 42,000, I think at that point you hit $1 million that you're being sued for. And so that's when you kick into that side of things, and suddenly you're just in a lot of trouble because you didn't mark it. So it's a damned if you do or damned if you don't situation. You either kill your videos in your channel by marking it kid-friendly, or you don't do that. That's my middle finger, I realized. Or you don't do that. And the FTC and YouTube says, oh, we disagree with you not marking it, so now you're flagged, and now you're sued, and now you're screwed. So anyway, let's bring it back to my plan for the channel here, because as you can tell, I don't have a lot of faith in how the COPPA thing is playing out right now, you guys. I would love to be. I am a very optimistic, upbeat person in general in my life, and that's part of why you get that vibe from me on YouTube even, I think, is because it's just how I like to be. But, we got to be realistic about this. It doesn't seem great. It just does not seem good, unfortunately. So what's my plan? I've been thinking about it the last couple of days since I made that last video because I didn't know what I was going to do with my channel. And I've talked to some other creators behind the scenes about it. People have been asking me questions about it, some other creators and stuff. And we're talking, we're going over ideas, we're sharing articles with each other. Someone shared an article with me even too, which was really cool. And so we talked about that quite a bit. So I've had all sorts of conversations, and, everyone's making YouTube videos about it. So right now, here is what I think my current plan is. It's not great. If you like me and my channel, it might not be the greatest, but I don't know what else to do until we learn more. So it's it's November 23rd right now when I'm recording this. I think this will be posted on the 24th, though. I'm recording on the 23rd. January 1st is the day of reckoning, okay? That's when this whole nonsense garbage is going to go down, apparently. And this goes into effect January 1st, 2020. So that's like 5 weeks away from now. Over the course of the next 5 weeks, anything could change. This could get way, way worse, or it could get way, way better. Maybe more clarifications like these ones come out, and maybe they actually give us something a little bit more concrete. Because right now, even with the clarification, it's all so vague what they're looking for. So maybe things change and get better. So that's that. But as of right now, if things stay identical to how they are now, we get no more word until January 1st. And on January 1st, the kill switch is flipped on the back end and suddenly everything's into effect and everyone's in jeopardy. What I think my plan is to, until then, I'll probably still make a couple of videos, try to talk about whatever I'd like to get on the Spawncast, 1 or 2 last times. I was invited on last week for Jedi Fallen Order, but I had band rehearsal that night, so I could not go, unfortunately. And so I've talked with John, so maybe in the next week or two, I want to try to get back on at least one more time because I like doing the Spawn cast. Those guys are awesome. So I want to do that, but I'm going to make videos here and there as need be. But come January 1st, again, if nothing changes, I think what I'm going to do to cover my bases is I'm just going to turn my channel into kid targeted, which is the kiss of death, okay? But it's also the kiss of death that prevents you from getting in trouble or getting sued or whatever the FTC is trying to do to people. So I think I'm going to flip that switch, and I'm probably going to stop making content. I think I'm just going to consider it like the last day that I'm uploading to Rule of Two Review, at least right away, because things may change and evolve and whatever over the course of time. Because, you could say, oh, just delete your channel. And it's like, I don't want to delete my channel because I look at my channel as a body of work that I've built over 6 years. And so I don't really want to delete videos and delete my channel, like I'm proud of it. And so I can at least have it still exist on YouTube as what it is and always was, just kind of for my own peace of mind. Most of my videos aren't timeless. Most of them are just relevant in the moment news. So there's no reason to go back and watch my videos from 2 years ago because the news is old. But I don't want to remove it. So I think what I would do is just put that veil of safety over my whole channel, all of Rule of Two Review, that says kid targeted, even though it's a complete lie, but I do not have the law or YouTube on my side here. So I'm going to do that. And I just won't upload because I don't want to continue to put forth all this energy and effort into videos that are just not going to be seen by anybody. As I said last time, I get an average of about 2,000 views per video. And that's enough for me that if that gets cut down to like 300 or 400, it hurts. It stings. It's a step backwards. It's just the death of a channel and the death of your videos, and you're not growing. And I even though I don't do this full time or have aspirations to do it full time, I don't want that to happen. I don't. That's no fun. That's not good. So I think I would just stop uploading content. Now, the one potential positive to this is I would obviously still be keeping tabs on YouTube and other YouTubers. So I'm going to just wait to see how it plays out because I think a lot of YouTubers are going to risk it. And they're going to not do what I want to do. And they're going to just keep doing their normal thing and think that they're probably safe. And we'll see. And I don't know how long it'll take. I'm sure within a couple of weeks or months, someone's going to be made an example of, right? And so I have to just wait to see how that plays out. The first time somebody, especially if it's somebody significant, gets in trouble for this and what happens to them. And that's going to be the litmus test for what the FTC is looking for and what they're allowing, what they're cracking down on, what they're not. The first couple of situations that happen that way will be letting the rest of the world and the rest of YouTube know how it goes. Now, it's going to suck for those people, and I don't want this to happen to any YouTubers, but I know that it's going to happen. It's going to. So, are you going to be the first YouTuber who gets busted and sued for $800,000 for 10 videos, or is it going to be somebody else? I don't know, but I don't want it to be me. Like I said, I'm buying a house. I'm not giving the government any of my money because of my part-time video game YouTube channel. My money is for me and my girlfriend and the house that we're buying. So screw the FTC and screw YouTube when it comes to this whole thing. So I'm gonna just wait and see who gets in trouble, what they get in trouble for, try to understand the standards. And the other thing that might happen in this time, hopefully before anyone would get in trouble, would be if they actually do come out and give hard and fast rules, standards, regulations, and identifications for how they're monitoring this. If they lay out the hard and fast ground rules that we know we're legally protected for XYZ reason, like what these statements I've read here are kind of like, but only more solidified and less vague, if they give us that, then I'll come back and I'll hopefully be able to just turn off my stupid kid-friendly button that I've selected. And it's like, okay, I can go back to normal. It's dangerous in the sense that I might be going several months without uploading a video, and so that might also hurt my channel. But I'll step back into the pool if it's safe to do so and just see how it goes after taking a several month break. But it's all I can really think to do. I guess if I was to say one potential different choice I may make would be to just, I don't know how I could do that. I was going to say I could just make my videos super bland, and I'm not putting the pictures of the video game characters in my thumbnails. It would just be my face only. And if I don't put gameplay in any of my videos. So basically every video, let's say I'm talking about Metroid Prime 4. Let's just do that because I want to talk about Metroid Prime 4. when it's finally revealed. It would just be a picture of my face smiling. That's Metroid Prime 4 we're talking about today. And then the video would just be me talking like this, which I guess isn't the worst thing, but if I can't show any video or show any trailers or any gameplay, that's what every video would be. And then it's like, I might have Metroid or Mario or Zelda or Pikmin in the title, and that's the one thing that would get me in trouble. But if the thumbnails just have my face and the video is 100% just me talking and no kind of flourishes of video game play and stuff like that, like, I guess I could do that. But the problem becomes, I would have already had to have flagged my entire channel anyway to protect all my prior work, because they can go after your prior work too. And all my prior work, I think, falls under the category of what COPPA would deem inappropriate, and they would come after it. So I need to protect all of the, whatever 2,000 videos or whatever I've made over the past 6 years. I have to protect those. So I'd have to like flip the switch to protect my prior work, which would also doom my future videos that would be just me with no characters in the thumbnails or in the videos. So it screws that stuff too. So I don't know, man. The whole thing's a mess. And I think that's why I came to the conclusion, like, I would probably just mark it as kid-friendly, stop uploading, and just see what happens, And if it's bad, if it just turns out to be as the worst case scenario we're all thinking, it just means I'm not uploading on YouTube anymore. And I hope that no one I would really know and care about, and friends I've gotten to know on YouTube who would continue to do it and take the risk, I hope that none of them are the ones that would actually get like in trouble or get caught. I hate using that word, but get caught by COPPA. Ooh, you got caught by COPPA. So, yeah. I don't know, man. I guess that's it. So I know it's like another Debbie Downer video, but this topic is huge. It's impactful. It's scary. I think it's interesting. You know what? As sick as it is for me to say, it is a little bit fascinating. And I would have to think, if I didn't have the perspective of also being a content creator, with an audience and with, a modicum of success that I'm very proud of, if I was just a sole person who just viewed YouTube like most people, I would at least find this situation and all of these conversations and the questions about how it's going to play out very interesting to at least watch. And I can even still kind of appreciate that, even though I'm on the other side where it's like, I might get screwed, I might get sued. I get that. And so, I don't know, the situation's important, man, and I'm sad to potentially lose the success that is Rule of Two Review, and I'm also very worried for my fellow content creators, the ones I know and the ones who I don't know, the ones who are big, the ones who are small. And I really fear that a lot of people, again, the ones that I know, are just not paying attention and not really letting themselves be concerned about it, whether it's to be in denial or whether they just truly don't feel the concern. And, hey, there's a chance that they're right. There's a chance that this really doesn't start to affect people who make content like I do or other channels similar to mine. Maybe they really do stand by what they say, that we can tell it's not directed towards kids, so your channel is safe, your videos are safe. That could happen. It doesn't feel like that's the case. It doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel like something that's okay to ignore right now. Hence why I've made 2 very long videos about it, and I'm talking about it for a second time, and I'm telling you my plan is to potentially flip the switch on January 1st and then stop uploading. It's going to make the next couple, weeks of video uploads very weird, very strange. It's going to feel kind of eerie to be like, oh, I'm talking about this video game news. Everything's fine. Ha 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 ha. This is great. Look at this. Oh, a Nintendo Direct. Whee! Oh, January 1st. Goodbye. I'm dead. Like, it kind of feels like that. So, anywho, I think that's it. I'm just going to wrap this up. And so now you know my thoughts, you know my update, you know my plan. If things change, then things will change. If things get better, then I won't enact my plan. So, that's the thing. But again, if they stay identical, if I still feel as scared about the future of Rule of Two Review on December 31st as I do right now, then on January 1st, I'm flipping the switch and I'm saying goodbye. I'm signing out. And I'll probably at least try to make one last video on December 31st or something on New Year's Eve, like, bye, it's been fun. Maybe I'll see you in a couple months if no one's getting arrested and sued into the ground. So anyway, that's what's going on. Tell me what you think. Fellow YouTube creators, man, tell me what you think. I've seen a lot of videos. I've seen it. I've heard it. Discuss it, make your own videos if you haven't already. Make more videos. Tell me what your plan is. What do you think of my plan? Does my plan sound like something that makes sense to you? Maybe you have a better plan that I haven't thought of. Let's talk about this together, man. Let's figure it out. So for now, that is it. I'm signing off. I promise you my next video will be about gaming. I promise. And so with that, that's it. I'm going to end this video. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.